Okay, let's get the audio sync going. And from here, let us take a moment to hope that this board may actually be fixable, as opposed to the somewhat becoming standard for this machine and board, which is, of course, NAND death through SSD regulator failure. But I'm hoping we get something better than that tonight, because it'll be a nice change. But then again, maybe I used up all my good luck yesterday. Hey Michael, let me just pop the chat out so I can follow it on my lower screen. Hey Phil, Barry, Miles. Okay, Wes. I'm going to assume Lewis's endless driving stream is finished. Okay. Well, there's no real point seeing what sort of power input it's got. I'm just going to have to take it out. It's already got the fluff build up, so it's going to be some sort of corrosion, I'm guessing. And we're just hoping it's not one that has subsequently destroyed the NAND. Hopefully this is going to be a earlier development of the same ultimate outcome, but the earlier development is that you typically get the caps shorted down here on the other side. So that's the first version of the death, and you can recover from that one. The second version of the death is that the corrosion eats its way through the layers of the board, and typically you do not recover from that. Typically that causes too much damage and it's a write-off. The third version is that you get corrosion on the top, which we do not seem to have on this particular one, and the corrosion gets onto the 2v5 SSD controller, and sometimes I just realize I haven't undone the battery, but that's probably not a problem because it's not coming up at all. So anyway, it was still a little bit of a whoopsie. There's bugs flying around. I'm going to be a little bit cantankerous more than usual because it has been 40 again today, and we are looking like we're going to have almost a solid week of 40 Celsius, and it's humid as well, which just doubles the rather unpleasant sensation. Hey, Colonel Panic, Micro Repairs. Oh, Rilla's here. Hey, Paul. Kenny Wooden. Looks like the usual group turned up. It is kind of funny that you have 30,000 plus subscribers and you get about 100 regulars. So it really does make you wonder where everybody else is. It takes a long time to get these 1700 boards out as well. It just sort of like adds insult to injury when it eventually is a completely dead machine. "40 freedom units, yes, I'd sooner take 40 freedom units than 40 Celsius. So 40 Celsius is roughly 100 freedom. Rain on the Gold Coast. Oh, that'd be nice. I could do with that. But you can see the bugs are all excited. They're just flying around. Well, you can't see them, but they're little suckers like that. This sort of weather just makes them go absolutely crazy. If you're lucky with the climate in this area, you only get 1 week of this non-stop 40 odd, and then it's over for the year. There have, however, been times where we've just had like approaching a month of it. Obviously not continuously 40 the whole time, but it certainly stays elevated above 37 for over a month. Obviously dropping down at night time, and that really sends people literally insane. It is very unpleasant. And you may have air conditioning, but it doesn't always do the job. Uh, 1700. The board with so many screws. You would not want to be trying to get this board out in a hurry. Yeah, if seconds counted, then it's going to be doomed. Oh, Darius? Yes, unfortunately, Darius, quite right. They more often than not are complete write-offs. Ah, g'day, Hypermon. Haven't seen you for a while. You've been busy at the shop or just taking a holiday? I've still been sending victims to you. Looks like Lewis is back on the road. So if you are wanting to watch Lewis's road trip, then he's back on. He must have had a pee break or something. Hey, Full Wave, DJ, hey, Civil Up. We do consider 40 to be a heat wave material. Anything above 35 can potentially be there, depending on the level of humidity. And right now, if I go outside and it is 11:30 in the evening, you will start sweating up. So many freaking cables. It's not even funny. And then of course you've got these ones under here, which of course are your Wi-Fi. Come on. Okay, I think we've cleared them all. Or maybe not. No, still got one screw. Didn't see that one there. Oh, and another one. Crikey. This is why with this particular model you end up charging, you add about another half hour of labour into it, simply because of the fact that it takes you that long to get it pulled apart. Oh, and that screw there. It doesn't help that I'm missing a few things that I should not. Right, yeah. We are on the way. Barry, so far as I know, they have gone their own ways. At least socially it seems to be an amicable separation. I'm not really keeping tabs on that, as it were. It's just what I heard the other day when Lewis made mention of it, because everyone else was asking the same question. You can definitely see the dust build up in those edges. So, being flat stick, shop busy as ever, sent a Mac Pro your way today. Oh, okay, LCD going wild, no obvious signs of physical damage, sound like my speciality. I don't know about that. Any idea what model it was? It's probably going to be like a 1706 or 1708. It's going to be a Flexgate. In which case I'll probably send them back to Apple. Although they'll probably be out of time with that one now. Any idea what model MacBook it was? Yeah. Interesting. Alright, guys, we'll have a look at visually. I think Wes meant to say accept. Yes, he did, right. Yes, yeah, I mean, it is technically their business. I suppose that's the downside, however, when you do get to be, socially popular, then people are going to ask those sort of questions. Sometimes it is better to at least provide the minimally divulging version just to get them off your back. Did you add RGB to the computer? Oh, good God, no. Recent model, didn't take a close look. Okay, no worries. Alright, well, I guess I'll find out if they turn up. Okay, that looks kind of corrody there. That looks a little bit corrody there. Okay, we've got a current sense resistor that's looking like it's got fungus growing out of it. Oh, shite, that was a spasm. We've got corrosion there. So at this point, I would just immediately, I'd have those two as candidates. So like that there as a candidate, very interesting whatever it is that's on there, and that there as a candidate. So that's just on that side. HAW. I would say that is the real sort of culprit we're looking for here, the cumulative dust induced corrosion. Especially when it comes from coastal towns, because the humidity on the coast. If you're in an air-conditioned room and then you go to the outside and it's humid, then those bundles, those little dust bunnies, they're going to develop droplets of water on them, and eventually it's enough to start causing corrosion. Amazingly, this section is fine. I am genuinely shocked. Nope. We'll clean up there. But yes, when you get this board number, A20-01700, you'll get about a 10, maybe 20% success rate. The rest of it's just going to be a dumpster fire. If I'm to give any kind of recommendation, it would be do not waste your time on trying to bring them back to life if they have suffered a NAND power issue. I mean, it's very tempting. You want to, but it's generally not going to end up well. All you're going to do is waste your time, and that's about it. Hey, Barry. Let's see if we've got a short there or not. Let's see, continuity mode. Again, I guess this is on the same. Oops. So zoomed in that when I press down on the board, it obviously causes it to go out of focus. Well, that's not shorted, but it can't be far off. Oh. That one's a hard short. This here definitely needs cleaning up. That's normal. That's a hard short. Okay, this is not a standard signature fault, so we've got some hope. Hey, repair it all. Let's see if I can push that brightness up for everybody. still experimenting with this camera. Oh, we are at maximum brightness. I'll push the HDR up. That's a little too far. I think that's a fair spot there. I think we can live with that. How's that? Let me know if you feel that's no good, and I will promptly tell you I don't care. Got any news on the EDRD Enforcer? That will probably get here on Tuesday or so. Okay, I need to find out what that rail is there and find out why it's showing up as shorted. Hey, Ron Rogers. Ah, no. It is a 2v5 rail, and it's shorted. Alright, could be the end of that one. I'm kind of curious, though. Yeah, maybe we've gotten lucky, and it's one of the caps that are shorted. Okay. It could also be the controller. Guess all we can do, I'll try and take off the caps that look ugly, and then we'll go from there. Hey Michael, Netherlands. I think someone was whining then. Someone was whining about the fact that I used the light theme. Okay, let's just squirt some metho on here. Well, we don't know for sure if the NAND's gone bye-bye, because in this case it looks like it could actually be a cap short rather than a fault with the regulator. And if we're lucky, then that cap short is all it is, as opposed to the regulator getting messed up, in which case it then overshoots on the voltage, and yeah, you're right, it's bye-bye NAND. We don't have any rain, unfortunately, Johns. We've just got blistering heat. Hey, where's my board? And certainly that current sense resistor, that needs to take a hike as well. We do have to be a little bit careful here because we do have the NAND right there. So obviously that's not something we want to heat up too much. Trying your projector, Olsen. 120 inches. Man. I will step away from that remark. So if we point the heat away from the NAND, we should be okay. I'm suspecting this cap only because it looks the dirtiest, so I'm just going to take this cap off, and see if it changes. I mean, it may have just been general surface corrosion, It's a significant different colouring there, but no actual cracks. Not that it has to be cracked for it to be dead, because we did have that one the other day, and it was a perfect looking cap, but it had no capacitance. It was a full short. So you can't always go looking for physical damage like that. Ace attack, it's usually the damage is these regulators getting taken out, but this one hasn't happened that way. Alright, so we got 300 odd ohms there, so that's definitely not a short anymore. Now let me take Mr. Capacitor. Let's bring him back. And see if he's shorted. Interesting, no short on that either. Oh yeah. Alright, so that was a big fat lucky guess on my behalf. Oh, I see, that's a fracture line there. Yeah, that was just a big lucky guess. It looked a bit dodgy, and it turns out it was dodgy. So this data may in fact be okay. I'm not saying it will be, but it may be. Let's see if we can clean it up and spot any physical defects on it. Hey, is this... Well, it certainly looks like there is a fracture line up there. I just couldn't tell whether it was some specific make of a cap where they had two-tone. But it looks like this is definitely not two-tone. It just seems like it's actually saturated with something. But yeah, there's a non-design crack up the side there. And there isn't on this side, so maybe it was two-tone. No, wait, there is that crack there. I don't know. All we know is that it's shorted. We can't apply power yet. First we have to replace that cap, and we need to resolve the issue with this current sense resistor. That's got some nasty business going on there. It may look like the color is oversaturated at the moment, but it's actually not too dissimilar. The pads, they've got a little bit of corrosion on them, a greenish corrosion, and it's making that gold pop out a little more. Hey, Joseph King. Hopefully I can find a replacement for this current sense resistor. I should be able to. Yeah, famous last words. Oh, that is seriously messed up under there. Even though I did get a bunch of donor boards, I did not get any 1700 ones. Hey Gavin Brown, good evening. Hey Kratos. That pad is as black as my heart. And it's definitely resisting attempts to bring it to life. Come on, there you go. This is definitely one sort of the pads that you do want to make sure that you get nice and clean, because it is for the current, high current job. And because it's a current sense situation, you also want to try and get it as clean as possible. Hey, Ed Boss, the coffee that needed making. Well, I can fully appreciate that. Nelson, you made a dog video? I don't recall that. Probably a good thing I don't see it. Okay, that's... whoops. That's taken solder nicely. So back in action. Okay, so what is that? 5620. And you are a 5 milliohm landscape 603. Where am I going to find another one of those? When I say landscape 603, the size here, this 0306, that's just obviously a 603 standard size, but turned on its side. Hey Gavin Brown, thank you very much for the £5. I will have a dozen coffees with that. Not in one day. Hey John, you can see me. Are you looking through the window? Okay, find a part. I hope you're not looking through the window. That's kind of creepy. So, won't. 5 milliohm. 0306. That's pretty much all we need, really. Go for the search. Audio is intermittent. Is it? Is it really? I'm not sure about that. As I was going to say, that's a bit of a trek for you. Okay, so we've got 2016s, I do have those. 281 do not. 239s I do. Well, we've got one of them. One working one and one not working ones. 875. Okay, if the 875, then the 840 has it, and the 840 I do have. So we will take it from the 840. Interesting, they've crossed that out. What? Omit? I should have known. I'll just check them anyway, just in case. Oh, plus we've got Daniel Lance's 1707 board. Let's take it from that. That should definitely have it. How can I not find that 840 when I need one? There's this up here, that's for the backlight. Technically it should have been right there. And so it is indeed omitted. Okay, so no luck on that. Yeah, Miles, it is a major pain when you get the no stuff hit. Okay, 1521, 928. Okay, I'll check on the 239. And lo behold, it also is an omit. Let's see if they've got any that aren't. Omit, 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 omit. Okay, that one is not omit. Okay, fingers crossed. I don't recall depleting this one, so we might actually have it. Microscope. I think that's it there. R003. Where is it? Nope, that's not it. I swear that's going to be omit, because you can see where they have omitted them all. So like that's gone, those two there. They were current sense resistors, they're not there. And according to the schematic, yeah, that one there is the one that I should have been looking for, R5580. And it does not have the word omit on it. Oh yes it does, underneath. Damn it. It was just underneath it. There are so many current sense resistors in these things that they do not populate. I think they just put them in there initially to, make sure the board runs and everything like that. And then once they've sort of decided, yeah, okay, this thing's going to run and not destroy everything, that's when they drop them all off, dump all the current sense circuitry, all but the essential stuff. And yep, we have bugs running around. I do apologize. That is unfortunately the nature of this land that I live in, or more specifically this area that I live in. Yep, so it's a bust on the 239. Bugger. Damn bugs. And what doesn't help is that I'm running this room with some very strong lighting, and so I'm attracting bugs from other counties, I'm sure. Man, where am I going to find one of these resistors? 928. Well, like I said, we see what this board that Daniel gave us is. I should have written on it. Could be a 928 or 923. 928. Okay, so we might have a chance. Just going to write on it 820-00928 so that I know what it is. That kind of looks like one right there. 928, 928, 928. It's also got a lot of omit ones, and I'm just going to find the one that is not omit. Makes me want to add a feature to the search facility that allows me to put in words I do not want to see in the search. Crap. Looks like this one's also got them all omitted. That's probably some exceedingly high resistance, that one, compared to what we're dealing with. Oh wait, no? Oh yeah, I know what the problem with this one is. I could have taken that one, except it's twice the size of what we need. Where's, unfortunately, no, bug spray is not going to help me as much as I wish it would. And besides, I'm disinclined to use bug spray. It always attacks me first. Sadly, that there is a 10 milliohm, so it's twice the resistance that we want. And I'm not going to do no J5 cent type trick here. That one there is a 2 milliohm. Wow, I can't believe it. 5 milliohm current sense resistors are like hen's teeth. That's a real pain. They're putting them in the designs. Wow, that got knocked off pretty seriously there. They're putting them in the design, but then they just omit the hell out of them. What's this one here? Unfortunately, that one's a 2 milliohm. God damn it. No, like I said, zappers, they have their purposes, but they're not going to help in this case. Not to mention it'll stink up the place really badly. What I need to do is go around and seal up the window gaps a lot better. I mean, they're really good at getting into teeny tiny little spots. They're very good at it. Okay. Yep, rockin' horse crap rare, very much so. It's okay, I haven't given up entirely yet. I'm just gonna check to see if I've got something else. See, 2016, I actually do have a 2016 now that I think about it. I just don't want to actually use it. I know it sounds silly, but there are some boards you really don't want to sully up. Because you hold in your heart the idea that you might actually be able to fix the damn thing. Right, I don't know what board this one is, I don't think. Oh yeah, this is a 1521. Okay. Oh, and a 1521 does in fact have it, but again, this is a board I kind of want to fix. But we probably are better off fixing... It should be down here. There we go. There's one. And I think I'm just going to have to order in a few of them. It is broken, but we don't know exactly what it's broken with. Yes, borrow it for a short while. I think the key though is to actually mark down on the board or something that you have taken that part. Like have a checkout list. Okay, we've got to make sure we get the orientation correct. These resistors, it does matter. Yeah. Okay, so we were right. So you've got the sense pads down the bottom there, and you've got the main current flow pads up the top. It is a physical manifestation of what is known as a 4-wire circuit or a Kelvin circuit, and it allows you to take measurements of high currents without the measurement being influenced by the high current. Okay, and we've got this resistor here as well. A capacitor, I mean. C5102 board. .402, 1 microfarad, 10 volt. I think that's... What did I say? 1 microfarad, 10 volt, 402, yeah. That's a jelly bean one. One microfarad. How many volt they want? They want 10. I'll see if I can get a little bit close to that. I mean, it's not super critical, but it'd be nice to match it. I know I could just take it from another board. I'll be right back, I just heard something. Did you just sneeze or something?
Oh, the chair moved a bit when I sat in it.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure what it was, that's all.
Wow, for you to hear that, it was like this.
Nah, it sounded... okay.
Sorry, Mom.
The girls...
Shut the door. I couldn't see anyone.
Oh, maybe that's what I heard, the door shutting. Yeah.
Wow, that's good hearing.
Yeah, it's more a case of just paranoia. Paranoia. You gotta check the noises around here. For all I know, it might have been just my own chair. It's kind of like when dogs get scared at their own farts. So maybe that's what happened to me. Scared myself with my own chair. Hey Hedgehog, it's been a month or so since I've seen you. Their babies are good. Causing strife, keeping us up, not letting us sleep, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, normal. Might put some assistive heat on this. I'm going to take off every other cap. Not that one, damn it. Hey, Big Mac. I really didn't want to hang around with that hot air for too long. Hey, Coda, how's it going? Did you end up reballing that APU last week? Because I know you were going to, and you said you'd continue the stream the next day, but you never, well, I didn't see it. So I kind of assume you didn't do it. Yeah, it's just spread my solder over other things. Would you recommend your microphone setup? Yes, no. I think it's a decent setup for the price. It has its quirks. I think certainly it's better than having no microphone. And I think the pickup works okay next to my face. But certainly, yeah, there's room for improvement on it. But for the price, it's hard to argue. Oh, right, you haven't heard back from the customer. Yeah, it's true. If you're going to put the hours in, you want to make sure you're getting paid for it. Yeah, fair enough. Well, we're kind of hoping we're going to get the data off this one, because this here has an SSD short, a power rail short, but we're lucky it's not the signature failure, it's just one of the caps happened to have a bad day. And if that is the case, and it was the cap and not the controller, then yeah, we should be lucky. Now we're right next to an underfilled NAND, but the combination of the leaded solder and the huge thermal mass that those NANDs need to get moving, we should be okay. Alright, see if there's anything else that... Like, these caps look a bit dodgy to me as well. So they're all kind of suffering there. So we'll check them out. So are you doing any streaming today or tomorrow? Well, it seems these are all good. They seem to be all on the same bus. This one not so much. Okay, the little chirp you heard there, that was just because it's probably got one of these caps or something on it. And when you do a continuity test, when they're discharged, the impedance is so low, it makes it seem like it's for a short time, until the energy from the testing fills the cap up. And then it's like, oh wait, no, my mistake, no short. Oh, you have to play poker, cool. You have to grab a shower. Is that even the right thing to do? Shouldn't you find a way to make people uncomfortable? Isn't that what you do in poker tournaments? Or is it part of the rules that you're not allowed to do that kind of thing? Honestly, I kind of want to replace that cap, but it's also in a bad spot. £250 buy-in, damn, 2 days. Whew. Alright, that's bigger money than I gamble with, mind you, to be fair. When I say gamble, I mean buying computer crap. Or thinking, I'm going to buy this £250 tool because I feel like it's going to make everything so much better, and I'm going to be able to fix stuff that I couldn't fix before. And then it rots in the drawer because you found it was annoying to use. Okay, well, we're at the point where we basically need to power this up and see what happens. Damn it, I just had the flippin' thingamajig. Oh, there it is. Here goes everything. Sadly, you can't really see it. 20 volts. 180, 250, 320, 310, 270. So it feels like it's going through the boot sequence. It's not peaking yet. 400. Okay, it's gone back to 0, so now it should come back. Come back, baby. Come on. Come back. You're not coming back, are you? You said, my NAND is dead. I cannot go on without my NAND. God damn it. I have a feeling it was probably, well, I have a feeling it was likely, if it is dead, it was likely that current sense capacitor that was the killer. Did I miss replacing that cap? Good question. I thought well, that's a good question. Maybe I did. I thought I had put it back on. I thought, you know, it was like a 10 microfarad or something. No, I didn't. Thank you for pointing that out. Much appreciated. That would explain why it didn't come up. That was a bit of a silly omission. Mind you, it does have like... I'll show you the schematic. So that was the cap there. But it's also coupled with 3 other 20s and 3 150s, so it's less than 10%, so it shouldn't affect it. But we will put one in there, and it's one of these weird 20 microfarad units. We're just going to put a 10 microfarad in. What's the voltage ones? 10 microfarad, 10 volts. 20 microfarad, 10 volts. Mind you, I might not even have anything that can suit that. But yeah, it's... that being missing really shouldn't change things, unfortunately. I don't have any of those. Oh, thank you, Full Wave. Let's see, 20 microfarad. I think 165s might have something. 10 volt 402. Oh no, they've got much bigger. I was thinking of this cap here. And I do use those a lot, but it's a 603 10 microfarad. Bugger. Are they 402s? Yeah, they're 402s. 3642. That doesn't seem right. That sounds like it's probably an overlap on that board. 3662s, I've got those. 2915s, definitely got those. 3332s, definitely have those too. Let's have a look at the 3332s, see if that's genuinely right or... Yeah, didn't think so. So you got that, and then mixed it with that and that. Search, find a part. Strict. Oh, right, left align. Strict, strict, strict. Come on. Yeah, now that I put it on strict, it's all of a sudden going, okay, this is a little bit harder to find anything. Maybe there's something it doesn't like at all about that. Well, either way, the point is, it's actually not critical, so the fact that it's not quite booting is going to be because of something else. Hey, nuts and proud. I might replace the controller just in case. Although it's probably a bit late on that. Yeah, Warren, they're both on the same bus. And so that's how I knew when I took this one off and it no longer beeped that I had got the right one. Hey, oh, someone's crying. Mo, 3 times.
Yes, I was playing with him.
Yeah.
And then he's like, no.
Alright, let him grab him. Ah, come on, Momo. Yeah. You can put him down. Come here, you little rat. Oh. There you go. Look, say hello to everybody. Hey, there you go. See, we've got the camera over there now. Mm-hmm. What is it? Okay. Yeah. No, you wants to try and fix the board. Alright. Time for you to step out. Alright. Gotta get it out of their systems. Let's see. TPS 62180s I need. Oh, that's right, I was in the middle. This is why it's a bit distracting. Microscope only. I was in the middle of trying to fix up that solder. He is not an innocent little bundle of fur. Oh, it's okay, Coda. As it is, it didn't work properly. I mean, it booted, it gave us 20 volts, but not quite anything more than that. And yeah, that's a bit problematic because it usually means that the NAND is dead. And there's no, it's just not worth redoing the NANDs on these, because you have to get them, they all have to be matched, and then you lose your data anyway, and they're all underfilled. It's just one of those situations where the economics is simply not there. Let's see. It is having a really hard time dropping down. Food or a blowhole? What? Oh, that's food. Or something relating to food. Micro's doing well. I mean, he has his good days and his bad days, depending on how naughty he's been. Biggest issue, of course, is because we have a number of other cats, they can... I've got a sneeze trying to sneak in. And we feed them a more typical diet. But, oh damn it, I've got to sneeze. Yeah, we feed them a more typical diet, and occasionally what will happen is Micro will stick around and wait for them to not quite finish their biscuits or something like that, and then he'll stuff his craw with their biscuits that he's not supposed to, and as a consequence his blood sugar jumps up a bit much. And then you always know when he's done it a little bit afterwards, because he has a certain behaviour that lets us know that his blood sugar's running up a little on the high side. Wish he wouldn't do that. He doesn't know any better, but it is a bit, frustrating. And you have to do this taping with these 1700s unless you want to have an endless game of whack-a-mole. Your old dog's been diagnosed diabetic. Oh, nuts and prouds, that's no good. And funnily enough, well, not funnily enough, but with dogs, it's actually quite a bit more difficult to keep that under control. Like, at least with a cat, they tend to... They just do better with diabetes in general. You can give them the slow-acting insulin. You don't have to be precise every day. You don't have to really work it on the each and every meal how much. Yeah, it's just a lot harder when it comes to trying to manage a dog's diabetes, it seems. Why are you jammed? What are you, raspberry jamming me? Oh, there we go. Oh, Coda, thank you. We don't usually let them in here. Well, we certainly never let them in here intentionally, as in, yeah, let them run around. There's too many dangerous things for them on these desks. But that one in particular, whose name is Milo, as in like the drink Milo, he will sit out there and he'll whine and whine and whine until you let him come in and have a look. And then he's okay for another hour or two. He was not meant to be mine, as it were. He was actually Elita's first pick. But then something happened along the way, and all of a sudden he's decided, nope, I want to be a daddy's boy. And it's like, ah, great. As if I didn't already have enough. That's all good. It's all good. They all bring new and exciting charm to your life. Even if it does mean that you get woken up several times a night because they find it hilariously funny to jam their claws into you at the foot of the bed, into your toes. Yeah, many people know about that one. Pardon me. I really had hoped this one was going to be okay. Hey, Steve B. See, the problem, it does the usual startup where it'll do 20 volts and it'll go up to like 500 milliamps and things like that. And then it'll drop to zero, but then immediately after it drops to zero, typically it should bounce back up. And this one is not bouncing back up. Now, I don't know for sure if this one requires the battery or not. Some do, but I was fairly sure this one didn't. But I'm going to plug the battery in anyway. And at least that will eliminate that possibility. But to me, it feels like the NANDs are dead. It wasn't in the typical place for the typical NAND value, which is up here, but hey, if it wants to take out an NAND in another area, well, I guess I can't stop it. Okay, so battery's connected. We'll probably get charging current, but that's about it. You should set low latency on the stream. A 25-second buffer won't let me go lower. I don't seem to be able to. I was tried it in the past and there was some issue that came up with low latency and I can't remember what it is now. Tony, it is a considerable hassle to test the blood sugar. We do occasionally get a reading, but for the most part, we have to tend to go by symptomatic analysis. Yeah, just watching him for characteristic symptoms that indicate that he's got a high blood sugar. Maybe the battery's just really... Be interesting. Holy shit, it booted. It's fixed. I fixed it. Did you see that? That was brilliant. Secret trick, and now it works. Wow. Okay, so this one wanted the battery. That's very strange. This is when you realise that I'm actually really dumb when it comes to board repairs. Right, I don't know squat. Huh. 97%, okay. 20-second buffer is pretty extreme. I agree it's extreme, but I've never really been able to get much better than that. I'll have a look at the settings. Customization. It's not, I don't set it. I don't set that. It really is up to YouTube to decide how what their turnaround time is between me sending the stream and them projecting it. I cannot find the latency option at the moment. I don't think I can change it in midstream. But yeah, I have tried low latency before and there was some problems, but yeah, maybe I'll give it another go. But it would seem I cannot do that right now. Oh well. Yeah, that's brilliance on my behalf there. I don't know what I did. Well, obviously this one wanted the battery after all. It's kind of strange. But yeah, that's the trouble is if I work on the 1700 moderately often, and yet I still don't remember those important details. To be fair, my head's most of the time filled up with junk like, how can I optimize my algorithm in FlexBoard View so that it can display more frames per second when I'm doing this, or how can I stop it chewing up an entire CPU? Thank goodness, at least for one thing, FlexBoard View is single-threaded, or single process really, with only the one thread. And so, at worst, it chews out one processor. And these days, most of us have got quad or 6 or even 8 processors, and more synthetically more if you have hyperthreading on. That's alive. I think what I'll do with this is get the password and then back up the data. Obviously I know what I did to fix it, but it just was a bit funny that I thought it was dead, but it wasn't. Alright, okay, so that's that machine. Now I guess the question's going to be, what do I fix next? Because let's see, we've got last night's haul. Like a stack of poker chips. Let's see what's in here. Oh, these are the 3437s. These are the A1502 type boards. These are the A1398 type boards. They're a bit more of a nuisance because you've got to get the proper screen and whatnot, and it changes between whether you got 3332 or 3662, they change a fair bit. Likewise the 15. Maybe we'll just do there was a second 165 I think I had. Let's see, there it is there actually on the top. I'll reward myself for successfully fixing a 1700 board by doing another 165. And everyone's like, boo, hiss, you suck. Miles, I would have thought it would have been in Logo Wiki, or at least some sort of data on Logo Wiki has it. Get out of here, bug. Okay, 165. The board that everybody loves. Actually, everyone loves the 3437, but 165 is almost as good. And let's get our chipmunk and our flat flex. Where the hell's my flat flex? No, you're a 2012 flat flex. You're no good. I was cleaning up my workshop. Big mistake. Now I've got to find out where that flat flex went. Hello. Damn it. Because when I was cleaning up, I heard something drop to the ground, and I thought, that's my flat flex. I'll get it later. And see, now that was my fatalistic mistake, as it were. That ever so cocky and stupid idea that I will get it later. And now it is later, and everybody's standing around going, well, what's this Drongo doing? Okay. What the hell? 3437? It's crazy. I've got complete machines floating around in this workshop, and I don't even know what they are. I should give away this thing, honestly. It's, I don't know, some people like them, but I am not. Hey, that's stuck now. Oh, that's so uncool. It's stuck because somebody must have put adhesive on the screen or something. Okay, we can fix that. It's like on the bezel or something. Obviously I don't want to heat it too much because you can damage the LCD. Or is it just a rusty hinge? And I also don't want to overheat the clutch cover. I think it might just be a rusty hinge. No, actually... Oh yeah, rusty hinge. Yeah, I can see it. Right there. Let's see if it smelt like cat pee. Wouldn't surprise me, although I can't imagine it would get in here, but then again, unfortunate miracles do happen. I guess I'm just going to have to find this freaking flat flex. And the worst thing is, I saw it multiple times today. Even the spare ones I saw. Oh, come on. Waste the time, waste the time. No, we do not want glue. Oh, come on. Alright, got one. And thankfully it is the right type. 821-1772. Well, that was rather unfortunate how long that took. And this is actually the proper one. I recognise the flux junk on it. You see corrosion around the TPS 51980A. What? You're talking about someone else's board, I'm guessing? Alright, let's see, here we go. Right. Power on helps. Yep, that's better. Green light. SO state. 500. This is booting. Are you going to boot or are you going to do the false boot? It's booting. That's alive. Alright, so now it's actually a little bit more tricky because this will not have been replaced by the place that I got these from unless it was genuinely faulty. Okay, so let's have a look. Squizzy whiz. And see why it is that they may have replaced this even though it does boot. Now it's either going to be some corrosion that cracked and so all of a sudden it's working again, or it could be something like backlight failure. That's quite possible. There's a little bit of corrosion there, a little bit of oily sort of junk. Or it could be something like a Wi-Fi module failure, or it could be SMC, junk down there. Backlight is fine, at least the sense ball is fine. Maybe it was just an upgrade. Maybe the person said, hey look, I want to go from a 1.6 board, I want to go to a 1.8. Oh no, there we go, we got it. PCH clock crystal. Yep, so it's corrosion that's cracked. Trying to track a short down on 165 computing current sense. I think it's time for voltage injection. Yeah, you just have to keep it around about 1 volt, I suppose. Oh, you bought a 1708. Oh, okay. Nuts and proud. That's certainly going to be a handful for you, and I hope you can get into a good routine with it. So yeah, this will be why it wasn't working. I'm just going to replace those resistors. They probably could just be resoldered, but I want to see what the state of the pads are underneath. And that is why you like to do this. Ah, someone forgot their extractor. No liquid damage. Shorted cap? I don't know. There's plenty of caps on that line. That tip's too big. Just scratch away on that pad. Bring out the micro pencil instead. As far as I know, they should just be 0 ohm resistors anyway. Ugh. Yeah, Daniel, that is a real problem when you get boards that have no apparent damage on them. It's like, well, where do I go from here? So you mean I've actually got to turn on my brain? Forcing me to have to think? Okay, so we're just going to snatch those two. We'll grab them both at the same time. Hey Toby, welcome. It's getting to the point where I think I need to go through my stash of donor boards and start throwing out the 165s that are a bit too grungy and old. Because a lot of them, all they're doing is they're just simply taking up space in the donor board container, and I never use them because they're too beaten up, or I've already stripped the parts that I wanted. Usually things like ISL, SMC, TPS, that sort of stuff. $300 a pop on eBay, and I'll just act dumb with it and say I'm not sure what the problem is. Someone said it should be a simple fix. So many eBay sales are like that. My cousin said it'll be really easy to fix, just need to have someone who knows what they're doing. And if someone does know what they're doing, they will know that is a trap. Okay, I'm going to test this chassis. This is 3437 chassis that we used last night, and this is the one that tricked us, making us think that we had a bad backlight driver. And I just want to see if it does the same with this board. And if so, then we'll have to look at maybe having to fix up the chassis as well. See you later, Coda. Good luck for the tournament, eh? I'm only saying that so if you strike it really rich, then I'll all of a sudden pretend I'm your best friend or something. Mooch off you. Like, Phil, come on, man. Remember the laughs we had? Remember the 300-pound I lent you? I've got to make sure I do that while you're drunk, though. But then since you're not going to be doing that because you don't drink like me, then I'm going to have to come up with some other method. You make life difficult for me. Oh, Pedro's here. Everybody say hello to Pedro, Mr. I Scam You. He is a professional MacBook scammer. Do not let him near your MacBooks or your women. He will scam you out of both of them. And he'll probably make you pay him for the privilege. And in fairness, the I Scam You thing, he actually came up with that. So it's not even like I gave him that title. He willingly imposed it upon himself. As if it was some sort of indemnity against his terrible acts. That's kind of weird. The screen kind of flashed over then in a very strange way. And now it's not running it. And I bet you the... Yeah. Oh no, yeah, we do have CPU, damn it. Can't see anything on screen. Now, I don't know if I've got a bad cable here or what. We'll try that again. Something else squirrely is going on. Yeah, something else is going on. We'll put it in the other chassis just to be sure. Ah man, I just realised I got to disconnect the battery first, Paul. We need that. We'll just see how this runs through. The main thing to keep an eye on is if that green light blinks. If it blinks, it means the CPU is alive. If it doesn't blink, then it means the CPU is not alive. And it's kind of not blinking. And, oh yeah, well if you look at the current, look at that current, 142 milliamp. It's not going anywhere today. So there may be, in fact, corrosion under that SMC. Well, so let's see, what do we say? Pop the SMC off, give it a nice fresh set, and go from there. I'm sure that's what everybody wants. It was working, but now it's not quite working. There's my Grim Reaper. Okay, Grim Reaper acquired. Ish. Three. Oh yeah, actually I can see corrosion there. I think it is. Could be just a bit of junk. That might be junk. No, that was just junk. What is going on here? Okay, first thing I need to do is get the camera realigned. Son of a gun of a thing. I am genuinely thinking of rebuilding the camera interface on this because let's go to quad. It has a tendency to drift. Okay, so let's make sure I get my head straight here, literally. Oh, it's actually good. I was just getting a bit crooked head. Bad case of crooked headness. Okay, that's all off. Should be enough flux there to do the extraction. I get crooked head when the cat is on my shoulders like a scarf. Oh yeah, particularly if you're trying to sleep like that. So it's stuck down a little more than usual. There we go. Now while that's still hot, do the lead cleanup. And then we do the hot air wicking. It's pretty good. We'll just put some flux over there to stop it oxidizing. Let's get our assembly system. We do pretty much the same here. Mind you, we don't hot air wick this one. Just realised I'm running around on quad display, sorry. There we go. Yep. Okay, happy with that. Now we've got to wash it down and dry it off, as well as the holder. Otherwise, it will make it more difficult for us. Okay, so that's the bulk of the flux off the chip, but we're still going to have to wash it under our fingertips. Now, let's see. So clear. They said 1298, 1298. Is that a year or is that something else for you? Okay, so clean chip down in a clean holder, and we just put a little. Oh, I see. Oh, that's. Well, that's an emotional fatality. Emotional damage. We'll survive. Okay, that's down. Grab another one. And it's... damn it. Not enough flux there. Alright, that's good. Now the reason why I'm a little bit upset about this up here is because it's going to sort of mess with the next step. So I'm just going to try and knock off some of that flux like I did there. Okay, now I need a stencil, which, dear God. Well, at least I've got my little package that I need. Okay, stencils, where art thou stencils? Yep, here we go again. And the hilarious part is, I had two such... there we go. I really am getting to the point where I think I just have to gripe about everything immediately. Because as soon as I gripe about things, usually it starts to appear again. Is Graham in the house? Or is there someone else we're talking about? Oh, Adamant IT, right, okay. I thought you were saying he was in the room and I was going to go, oh geez. There we go, stencil down. We've got our little bottle of lead crack. Nuts and proud, Joe. I could always try that one day. Just for all the sake of insanity, but no. Okay, that's a few too many, but that's okay. Now this is where that flux that was underneath, you know, that top right, top left hand corner. This is where that flux is going to misbehave a little bit. It's going to try potentially popping out some balls, but it looks like we're doing good. Okay, we're getting to the deform stage. Let's hope I don't botch this up too much. Oh, I actually got that one. I actually got that one. Finally, at long last, I got my technique back. At long, glorious last. That took a little longer to get that technique back than I liked. Okay, looks like we got one that didn't sit down. That's an easy fix. Dangerous, dangerous words. Bugs in my hair. Alright, so that is how the reflow is supposed to go with this technique that I use, as opposed to the last 10 or so times since I got the Aten where it completely did not take that path. So this, what you witnessed there, was the very first time that I've managed to get the Aten to do the reflow the way that I'm expecting it to reflow with the technique that I use. And I think now what the problem was is that I just didn't let the chip get hot enough. And so what was happening is, because the chip wasn't hot enough, the flux would, when I start touching it onto the board, onto the stencil, the flux would be too viscous, and it would subsequently grab onto a few and drag them out. Whereas when you get it above a certain temperature, it's just simply, its viscosity is too low. And it basically then forms a very thin layer between the stencil and the ball and whatnot, which is exactly what you want, so that it doesn't squeeze out or have any water sitting in there. Okay, pin 1, see. Okay. I do have different sizes, Tony. I just don't really change them much. The only time I will change is, you know what, this saturation is now annoying me. You know what else is annoying, Paul? Not finding where I put the wireless USB thingamajig. Oh well, saturation stays, I'm not messing around with it. Now when I put these SMCs back on, because they do have leaded solder, I run them at a lower temperature and lower air compared to what I took them off with. I take them off at 470 at, I think it's about 90% air, but I put them back on at 450 and 70. There it goes. It's probably going to jump a little bit more. It looks like it's dancing now. Yep. Ken Reeve, no. And actually this is the old flux. This, I haven't even started using the new flux yet. Visit people thinking of coming to visit me? That's unacceptable. I live in a hermit town because I like to be a hermit. Now I do spend a lot of time on the internet and I do videos and I show my face and all that sort of stuff. But the powerful thing about that is that I can switch it off anytime I want. Okay, put that back into its holder. You probably die of boredom before you manage to get this far north. Yes, that's off. Back to quiet, tranquility. Da, 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 da. Here we go. See if we did nothing at all. Well, at least we're no worse than we were before. And the current sucks still. Okay, so the current's still 113, so either I've got... There's a weird number. 113. Not sure what to think of that. My guess... Maybe we've got a... I guess we should check that we haven't got a popped PCH. It is a 165 after all. They are predisposed to popping their top. This one looks okay. You found the short. I didn't do anything for you, Daniel. You found that one yourself. But congratulations on finding it. Why can't I get a crisp focus? Like, I feel like I can, you know, pretty crisp on those numbers and most things, but for some reason on the caps and resistors, the little stuff, it just doesn't seem to come up as nicely as it should. Maybe it's just me, maybe it's just the screen, but it seems to suffer on the fringing for some reason. So I think the actual part is in focus, but there's fringing going on, and I don't know if it's a contaminant in one of the optics somewhere or something else. Alright. That's right, Pedro. And they're just the fruit bats. Alright, we're going to have to do some measurements on this and see what's going on. See what's a bit squirrely here. Because it was working and then it just stopped halfway through the boot process. It's a little strange. Oh, okay, you injected 1 volt, the cap got hot. Good. Okay, glad you found it. It's nice when you can get a win like that. Okay. Okay, so what's 342? 342 is bang on. PP bus, pretty damn close, very steady. Nothing's happening, it's just sort of like stuck there. Maybe I damaged the crystal when I reflowed it. Okay, we've got no CPU activity. There's no power going to it, I should rather say. We do have on the PCH side. So we've got 105. Yeah, we've got 105. Curious. Okay, 5 volt. Oh yeah, the chainsaw is a very nice thing to say. Yeah, Paul, I've got to wait till I get that 1080 converter and see what's going on. Yeah, I don't want to drop another $600 for no good reason. Well, it seems like just bear with me a moment here. Please stand by. cracked. I wonder if it was the polarizer causing issues, because it has got a lot of crap on it. So it gets to, say, that point there. And then, like, I can't get a superior clarity out of it. It's like it... So we get to that point. Okay, just maybe there. And I don't know. It feels like even when it's fully focused, there's something not happy about it. Obviously it's bloody bright now though. Oh yeah, and the... Oh, there you are. How'd I miss that? Yep. Okay. That's a classic. This is why... Because this was not a customer job, I got casual and I didn't double check everything. But this little spot here almost always gets corrosion, so I'd say that didn't help. Funnily enough, they do put the protective barrier there, but it's kind of in the wrong area. Should have been just over the top. But having them over the top brings its own issues, because it's not unheard of for the corrosion to wick underneath these. Oh, that is messed up. Makes you wonder how this thing booted. And all those people saying, it only takes one drop to kill a MacBook. These pads are pretty messed up. I'm just going to try something, so please stand by and get annoyed. Oh, there is gunk on that. And now there's more. There is a freaking hair in here. Hilariously, you don't get to see it because... oh man. It's only one hair, but it's this golden hair. It's definitely not mine. Is there some sort of golden child being in here? Okay, I hope my air filter has clean air. Yeah, there's a lot more offensive particles in here than I would expect. But that isn't actually the primary fault. I'm looking at the sensor. The sensor has got particulate matter on it as well. Not bad, but no, it's a shame I can't show you that. The sensor looks quite interesting. Not too worried about particulate matter falling into here. It's pretty robust in that sense. Might just give it a toot. That glitching you saw was not actually the camera, was the frame buffer of the card. Okay. Okay, let's try this again. Now you're going to get a much smaller view. And we're way out of focus. I'm just going to get my bearings. Okay, let's find ourselves some resistors. So I feel happier about that. I feel like the resistors are, actually about right there. I'll try to zoom out. Certainly it's got a very narrow or very shallow depth of field. And I think it's just starting to aggravate me. I'm getting a little bit pedantic about this stuff. Okay, just hang on there. Okay, that's better. That's better. Alright. Properties, transform, reset transform. Wrong. You're wrong. Okay, that's better. Okay, we'll go with that. colouring is a bit off, but we'll go with it. I can actually see a bit better now on the screen when I look at it. Yeah, but you can see the individual scratches there, although it's a bit dark. You can see the individual scratches of where I've been working on that 6 pad, where that part goes. Just cleaning up the end caps of those two parts there. They're okay, but they did have a little bit of corrosion effect on them. And that's a new one that we're going to take. Hey, Michael K. Hey, Arnold G. 4 volts at PP bus side of F. 4 volts. No, you got something else dragging you down there, I think. Without the SMC, it'll be 8.2 or 8.3, I think. But if you've got 4 volts, you've got something dragging you down. I would check your ISL. I'd sooner replace the ISL first, and then see how it behaves after that. Because yeah, with an SMC down, you would be at like 8.2, 8.3. And also, your short, the short circuit you had, that was on PV bus. So really, yeah, the SMC could be out, but whenever you do get a heavy short on the PV bus, you almost always have to replace the ISL. We're going to learn refrigeration today on Adamant. Oh. Hey, Mark. Refrigeration, so what, they're going to have cold cider, are they? Okay, let's see how we go. Alright, so our current's back. We're at 540, so that's a good sign. I mean, it's not to say it's going to be the ISL, but certainly I've found in most cases where I've had a PP bus short, a good one, a solid one, then I typically have to replace the ISL, I replace the fuse, and sometimes the SMC has to get replaced as well. Yeah, but the ISL generally seems to take it personally for some reason. What's the time? Oh man, it's nearly 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm disappointed in myself. Well, whether this goes or not, I think I will finish up and then I can go spend some time with the important things in life. And Alita's sitting there going, you better say my name, you better say my name, you better say my name. And of course I'm talking about my wife. Ah, damn it, I plugged it into the one that's got the dodgy screen. Oh well, see how we go. Mark, yes, we upgraded to an 8K certified cable. That we still have protocol issues, as in we cannot get it to switch to the modes that I want it to switch to. But I have the EDID box coming maybe Monday or Tuesday. And once I've got the EDID box coming in, I'll finally be able to make an assessment on whether I've got issues with the sensor being a bit iffy or optic issues. Yeah, just I can sort out a bunch of things once I know. Because right now I don't know whether the act of sending a 4K UHD 60 stream out of the camera is actually causing it to fuzz up the image a bit. Because when you try to, when you do pump out the maximum resolution and frame rate, it does strain the encoding hardware in the camera a little bit, particularly when they're not multi-$1,000 cameras. Yeah, this is what was it, $500-600. So I'm curious to see how it goes when it's forced to put out 1080, and if we have something better representing uniqueness per pixel, then I'll be happy. No firmware. The card isn't a problem. The card, I've updated the firmware and everything like that, but the camera, it is relying on the EDID information to tell it what mode to go in, and the card doesn't seem to, they don't want to talk to each other in that way. They find each other offensive. Okay, so that bit's working there. I'm just going to plug the battery in and make sure that it charges as well, and then we can pretty much say that this is another 165 fixed. It's not the greatest 165, this is sort of bottom end, but it's better than nothing. Okay, 92%, okay. So it does detect the charging, and yeah, it's charging that. Okay, so it's cool. So it's all good. Another 165 board to add to the list. Alright then, well, I better shut this down. Otherwise I'll leave my little USB stick in a undefined state, and it doesn't like doing that much. Shut down, shut down. Yeah. Yeah. The camera's good. Yeah, Mark, it does initially look pretty good, but then you start getting down to nitty-gritty sort of stuff, and you just can't quite get that pop, that really sharp definition. So I don't know whether it's the image processor doing that or not, which is, like I said, why I want to get it to push out 1080. and then that way, hopefully, it won't be. Hopefully, it'll just be doing point samples rather than oversampling. And then also it means that the card doesn't have to do any downsampling, and then OBS doesn't have to do any sampling either. So otherwise you got at least 3 layers of resampling of the image, and it can lead to this sort of smear effect that I'm experiencing. Okay, so that's good. Happy to see that we got that one fixed, and of course we had the other board that we fixed with the 01700 board. That was a miracle cure. I really did not think that was going to work, but obviously that one wants the battery, or at least it did at that point. Maybe it was just to bootstrap it or something, I'm not sure. Anyway, okay, I am out of here. You'll take care. I'm guessing that I'm probably going to get some food, and then I'm just about to go to sleep, and then Graham's probably going to start streaming. So if you're not already someone who watches Adamant IT, Graham, then I do suggest you go over there and click up and watch him. He's going to be doing a live stream, I'm fairly sure, and it's always good to interact with him. Yeah, he'll chat back to you, and it's some entertaining stuff, and they drink cider as well. So I think next week I'm going to have to get some cider, join the crowd, peer pressure and all that stuff. Non-alcoholic, but it'll be fun to have here. Alright, I'm out of here. You take care. I'll see you next time.